There's nothing more fragile on this planet than a man's life. But sometimes people manage to double-cross death not once but multiple times. From surviving airplane crashes to persisting nasty blows, we're here with a list of people who defeated death. Welcome to Top 10 World. Hit the subscribe button and the bell icon if you haven't already. And now, without any further ado, let's dig right into the meat. Number 10. Weslau Mogel.
Left the scene to make his way to safety. Though horribly disfigured, when Cecil Mogel went on to live a full life.
Our starter for you is a banger. He's someone who managed to survive after getting shot in the head. Weslau Mogel Herrera was a Mexican man who was captured on March 18, 1915, and was sentenced to death by firing squad in 1915 for his role in the Mexican Revolution. He was charged without trial and faced the slew of 9 bullets being shot at his head, including one at close range. Amazingly, he survived, escaped, and even displayed his disturbing facial scarring from the close-range bullet. Number 9. Julian Kapke. Next up, we have another multiple-time death beater named Julian Kapke. As a teenager, Kapke was the sole survivor of the Lanza Flight 508 plane crash in which 92 passengers died, but she managed to survive. It's simply miraculous that Julian Kapke suffered only minor injuries after she fell from a height of 10,000 feet. Not only that, but she also managed to survive alone in the Amazon rainforest for 10 days without any supplies. Her story does not end there. She also survived a fall of 3,000 meters still strapped to her seat. Based on her story, 2 movies, Wings of Hope and Miracles Still Happened, were made. Number 8. ARON RALSTON.
This epiphany that I could break the bones because my arm was caught so tightly.
Aaron Lee Ralston is an American outdoorsman, mechanical engineer, and motivational speaker known for surviving a canyoneering accident. In 2003, he fell between 2 giant rocks while cycling, and one of his arms got stuck badly under the rock, and after 5 days, 127 hours, of a continuous effort to take his arm off, he finally cut it down and moved from there. Though his condition was terrible, he still managed to walk to a place where he was taken to a hospital and was saved. In 2010, a Hollywood movie based on his story was also made and was named 127 Hours. Number 7. Carlos Rodriguez.
That's crazy, yo.
Carlos didn't always look like that. He was a regular person with a full head until the age of 14. However, after an alcohol and drug binge, he stole a car, got into an accident, and went flying through the windshield. Carlos smashed his head on the asphalt, and doctors subsequently had to remove a significant portion of his skull and brain to save his life. One theory for why there was not much impairment in his memory or cognitive ability is because of brain plasticity and the young age at which this happened. If someone gets a portion of the brain removed in their youth, the remaining areas adapt and stand in for the missing parts, so the person functions reasonably normally. Number 6. Louis Zamperini.
And boy, that blew me. My knees buckled and I almost went down, and then it started all over again, and even worse.
While talking about survivors, we can simply not miss the World War survivors. A Hollywood movie named Unbroken is made on the terrible story of this fighter during the time of World War II. He survived in a lifeboat for several days without food when his plane crashed while fighting. Somehow he reached an island that belonged to the Japanese where he became a hostage and got extremely tortured by them. But he didn't lose hope and returned home after the war ended. Let's take a little breather here so you can smash that like button. It doesn't involve evading death, though. Getting back to the meat. Number 5. Truman Duncan.
You don't think you're special?
No, not really. I was a guy that wanted to survive, wanted to see his kids.
The profession of this man got his life to the brim of death. The 38-year-old Truman Duncan used to work in railways. Most people don't survive being run over by a train, but Duncan did. Once he was inspecting the railway track, and a train hit him, and it continued to drag him under the train for a distance of 75 feet. He was successfully saved, but lost both his legs in the accident. Truman called 911 himself, and the guy who answered his call claimed that Duncan was just so calm that it felt like nothing happened. Duncan claims that he managed willpower and survived this ordeal by thinking about his family. Number 4. Roy Sullivan.
Roy Sullivan, stand clear, here comes Roy Sullivan.
Lightning is deadly, but can you imagine someone surviving lightning not just once but on numerous occasions? Roy Cleveland Sullivan was a United States park ranger in Shenandoah National Park in Virginia. Between 1942 and 1977, Sullivan was hit by lightning on 7 occasions and survived all of them. He also made it to the Guinness Book of World Records for surviving the greatest number of lightning strikes. Sadly, Roy died an unnatural death by shooting himself in the abdomen. Rumors spread that Pat shot her husband, but it was determined Sullivan killed himself. Roy Sullivan, the human lightning rod, is buried in Edgewood Cemetery near Wyers Cave. Number 3. VESNA VULOVIC.
Higher distance than Vesna VULOVIC, the woman who survived a fall from 33,000 feet up.
Vesna VULOVIC was a Serbian flight attendant who holds the Guinness World Record for surviving the highest fall without a parachute, 10,160 meters. In 1972, some terrorists carried out a bomb blast in a plane in Germany which killed every passenger but one. And the person who survived was Vesna VULOVIC, a flight attendant. Because of the bomb blast, she jumped from the plane from a height of 10,000 feet approximately without a parachute to save herself. Although she suffered from many serious injuries, she luckily stayed alive. Her name is in the Guinness Book of World Records for the longest jump made without any safety. Number 2. Anne Green. Anne Green, an English domestic servant, got herself impregnated by her master's grandson. Long story short, the child was stillborn. She tried to hide it anyway, was convicted of infanticide in 1650, and sentenced to death by hanging. After she was hanged, the doctors still found a pulse and proceeded to pull out all the medieval stops, including giving her a tobacco smoke enema. She recovered fully, was declared innocent by the hand of God, got married, and settled down with her kids. She even kept her coffin as a souvenir. Number 1. FRANE SELAK. FRANE SELAK is a Croatian man who's known for his luck and is often addressed as the world's most luckiest man. He defeated death 7 times. Born on June 14, 1929, FRANE SELAK's unbelievable series of death escapes began in the year 1962, when he was 32 years old. He suffered 1 train accident, 1 plane crash, 2 bus accidents, and 3 car accidents. But every time he survived. No doubt that he's the luckiest man. After dodging death 7 times, FRANE won a lottery in 2003 at the age of 73. The amount was a whopping $1,110,000 US. He bought 2 houses and a boat with the lottery amount, and eventually in 2010, he decided to give away most of his winnings to his relatives and friends after he decided to live a frugal lifestyle. So guys, that was our 10 extremely lucky people who managed to defeat death. Do let us know which survivor story did you find the most interesting. You give your feedback in the comments section, as we love to hear from you. And finally, that's been it from our side. If you enjoy our content, do consider subscribing, and we'll catch you guys in the next one. Until then, peace.